What if the woman you call your friend is the one person who actually makes your heart race, and you're terrified that one wrong move will ruin everything forever? That knot in your stomach you feel right now? That's exactly why you need to hear what I'm about to tell you. Listen closely. I'm speaking to you like a mentor who's watched thousands of men and women destroy beautiful friendships because they didn't know how to flirt the right way. There are truths about male and female psychology that almost nobody talks about openly. And one of the most dangerous situations you can be in is having deep feelings for a female friend while pretending you don't. Most people tell you two things. Either don't flirt with your friends, you'll make it awkward, or just tell her how you feel, bro. Both pieces of advice are terrible. The truth sits somewhere in the middle, in a space that requires emotional intelligence, self-control, and real understanding of how attraction actually works between friends. Here's the first truth they never told you. Attraction doesn't suddenly appear. It is slowly built. And if you've been in the friend zone for months or even years, your biggest enemy isn't her lack of interest. It's the identity she has created of you in her mind. Right now, she sees you as safe, comfortable, and predictable. That comfort is killing any romantic tension between you. But here's the second truth. You can change that identity without becoming creepy, without making things awkward, and without risking the entire friendship. It requires a completely different approach than what most dating advice teaches. The biggest mistake men make is going from 0 to 100. One day you're her funny, safe friend, and the next day you're giving compliments that feel completely out of character. She feels the sudden shift and immediately puts her guard up. That's how awkwardness is born. The real method is much more subtle and psychologically sound. It begins with your mindset. Before you change how you behave with her, you must change how you see yourself. If you still see yourself as the guy who's lucky to even be her friend, you will leak insecurity in every interaction. Women feel that energy immediately. You need to become the kind of man who knows his worth so deeply that whether she returns your interest or not no longer destroys you. That emotional independence is the foundation of attractive flirting. Paradoxically, the moment you stop needing her to like you romantically is the moment you become far more likely to create that attraction. Now let me reveal something most people will never tell you about female psychology. Women in friendships are constantly scanning for changes in the men around them. They notice when your behavior shifts. But they only feel attraction when that shift feels natural and confident, not desperate or sudden. This is where the art begins. The first step is what I call identity reframing. You must slowly rewrite the story of who you are in her eyes. This doesn't happen by telling her you like her. It happens through small, consistent changes in how you carry yourself, how you speak, and how you respond to her. Start by reducing your availability slightly. Not in a manipulative game-playing way, but from a place of self-respect. When you're always instantly available, you train her to see you as an emotional convenience. When you begin having your own life, your own standards, and your own boundaries, something shifts in her perception. The second psychological key is polarity. Male-female friendships often lose sexual tension because they become too similar. You act like her emotional girlfriend. You listen to all her problems. You give her the same kind of support her female friends give her. But women don't feel attraction to men who feel like female friends. They feel attraction to men who remind them that they're a woman. This doesn't mean you become rude or distant. It means you begin to gently reintroduce masculine-feminine energy into your interactions. Light teasing instead of constant emotional support. Playful challenging instead of always agreeing. Comfortable silence instead of filling every gap with nervous talking. I know this creates unease in you. That voice in your head is probably screaming right now, but what if she gets uncomfortable? What if I lose her as a friend? That fear is normal. Every man who has successfully turned a friendship into something more has felt that exact fear. But here's what they don't tell you. The friendships that were truly strong and based on real connection rarely get destroyed by respectful, well-calibrated flirting. The ones that fall apart were usually never real friendships to begin with. They were one-sided emotional attachments disguised as friendship. You must understand the difference. For the next several weeks, I want you to focus on becoming a more attractive version of yourself, not just to her, but to the world. Hit the gym harder. Upgrade your style. Pursue your purpose with more intensity. When a man begins to grow, the people closest to him feel it, especially the women. And when she starts to feel that shift in your energy, that's when the door to flirting without awkwardness begins to open. This is only the beginning. What I've shared with you in these first moments is the psychological foundation that most men completely miss. They rush into techniques before fixing their mindset and identity. That's why their attempts feel forced and create exactly the awkwardness they were trying to avoid. The truth is, flirting with a female friend without making it awkward is less about what you say and more about who you are becoming. It's about emotional maturity. It's about understanding both male and female psychology at a deep level. And it's about having enough respect for both her and yourself to do it the right way. If you're willing to face the uncomfortable truths instead of looking for quick tricks, then keep listening. Because what I'm about to share next will show you exactly how to begin creating romantic tension in a way that feels natural, fun, and respectful. This is knowledge most people will never have the courage to accept. Because once you truly understand what I'm about to tell you, you can never go back to being the nice, safe friend again. And that scares a lot of people. Let me show you what's really happening inside her mind when you're stuck in the friend zone. Female psychology in friendships is more predictable than most men believe. When a woman sees you as just a friend, her brain has categorized you. You are safe. You are comfortable. But comfortable is the opposite of exciting. And excitement is the fuel of attraction. The moment you begin to break that categorization, her nervous system wakes up. She starts to feel something different around you. Some women will lean into that feeling. Others will resist it because change feels dangerous. Your job is to make that change feel safe and exciting at the same time. This is where the real art of flirting with a female friend begins. The first principle you must master is what I call playful polarity. Most men in friendships are either too nice or suddenly too serious. Both destroy tension. Instead, you want to introduce light, cocky, playful energy that reminds her you are a man, not another girlfriend. For example, when she complains about something, stop giving her the emotional support she expects. Instead, tease her gently. If she says she's stressed from work, you might say with a smirk, "Of course you're stressed. You probably spent half the day scrolling Instagram instead of working." Say it with warm eyes and a smile so she knows you're playing. This kind of teasing creates an emotional spike. It breaks the predictable pattern she's used to with you. Most men are terrified of teasing their female friends. They think it will offend her. But the truth is, women are more emotionally resilient than we give them credit for. What they cannot handle is emotional neediness disguised as kindness. They can handle playful teasing from a man who is grounded in himself. The second principle is micro-escalation. You do not go from friendly to flirty in one conversation. You do it in tiny moments that feel natural. A slightly longer look when she's talking. A gentle touch on her lower back as you walk through a door. Holding eye contact for 1 second longer than comfortable while smiling. These micro moments plant seeds in her mind that something is changing. But here's the part most gurus won't tell you. These techniques only work if they come from genuine confidence. If you're doing them while secretly terrified of losing her friendship, she will feel the fear behind your actions. That fear is what creates awkwardness, not the flirting itself. I want you to feel the weight of this truth. Many of you have been carrying silent feelings for this woman for months, maybe even years. You lie awake thinking about her. You get jealous when she mentions other guys. You replay every conversation in your head. That emotional burden is slowly destroying your self-respect. And she can feel it, even if you never say a word. The only way out is to transform that hidden desperation into calm confidence. This requires inner work. You must begin to build a life so rich that even if she never returns your feelings, you will still be okay. That single shift in your psychology changes everything about how you show up. Now let's talk about the third principle, emotional contrast. Humans are attracted to contrast. If you've always been the guy who listens to her problems at 2 a.m., you need to become the guy who sometimes makes her chase the conversation. Stop replying instantly to every text. Stop being available every single weekend. When she asks what you've been doing, don't give her the boring answer. Tell her stories that show you living a full, interesting life. Women are naturally curious. When they sense that a man they thought they had figured out is actually mysterious and growing, it creates intrigue. Intrigue is the beginning of attraction. You must also understand male psychology in this situation. Most men in your position are operating from fear of abandonment. That fear makes them overinvest. They compliment too much. They become too available. They hide their true opinions to stay in her good graces. This behavior is repulsive to attraction, even if she genuinely likes you as a person. The man who succeeds at flirting with his female friend is the one who is willing to risk the friendship to express his masculinity. Not in a reckless way, but in an authentic way. He stops performing the perfect friend role and starts showing his real personality, including his edge, his opinions, and his playfulness. Let me give you a powerful example. One of my students had been friends with a woman for 14 months. She saw him as a brother. He started applying these principles. He began teasing her instead of always agreeing with her. He told her he was busy when she wanted to hang out last minute. He started dressing better and carrying himself with more confidence. Within 6 weeks, she went from treating him like a friend to getting visibly nervous around him. The dynamic had completely shifted. But it only worked because he did the inner work first. He stopped needing her validation. This path is not easy. There will be moments when you feel intense anxiety. You'll want to go back to the safe, friendly behavior that feels comfortable. That urge is your old identity fighting to survive. You must have the courage to sit with that discomfort and keep moving forward. The men and women watching this who are truly serious about growth will feel both hope and fear right now. Hope because they finally see a path. Fear because they know it requires real change. If you're willing to walk this path, the rewards are massive. Not just the possibility of a relationship with her, but the transformation of becoming a man who understands human dynamics at a deep level. A man who no longer fears expressing romantic interest. A man who carries himself with quiet confidence in every area of life. We're only halfway through. What comes next is where I reveal the specific techniques that make the flirting feel natural instead of forced. But only if you've internalized everything I've told you so far. Because technique without the right mindset is what creates awkwardness in the first place. Because technique without the right mindset is what creates awkwardness in the first place. Now that your foundation is set, I'm going to give you the actual methods that allow you to flirt with a female friend in a way that feels smooth, fun, and natural. These are the tools that separate men who create tension from men who create discomfort. The secret is to flirt through implication, not declaration. Never say, "I like you," too early. Instead, let your words and energy suggest romantic interest while still giving her room to play along or pull back. One of the most powerful techniques is called future projection. You casually talk about experiences you could share together in the future, but you frame it playfully. For example, if she mentions she loves Italian food, you could say with a slight smirk, "We'd probably fight over the last piece of tiramisu on a first date. You seem like the type who doesn't share dessert." Notice how this plants the idea of dating without making it heavy or serious. It's light, it's assumptive, and it gives her space to either laugh and play along or change the subject. Another powerful method is role reversal teasing. This flips the script on her. If she's giving you a hard time about something, you can say, "If you keep being mean to me, I'm going to have to stop taking you out for coffee." Again, it's playful. It implies you see her in a romantic context without confessing feelings. The key to making these techniques work without awkwardness is your delivery. Your tone must be warm, confident, and slightly mischievous. If your voice is shaky or you avoid eye contact while saying these things, it will feel forced. But when you say it while holding strong eye contact and smiling with your eyes, it lands perfectly. You also need to master something called the compliment flip. Most men give boring, direct compliments that scream, "I like you." That creates pressure. Instead, give compliments that are playful and slightly backhanded. Instead of saying, "You look beautiful," say, "What's dangerous? The fact that you look this good and still expect me to focus when you talk." This creates an emotional spike of both validation and challenge at the same time. Here's a deeper psychological truth most people never realize. Women test men constantly in friendships. When you begin flirting this way, she will test you to see if you're serious or just playing around. She might pull away for a few days or suddenly become more sarcastic. This is not rejection. This is her nervous system trying to figure out what's happening. Your job is to remain calm and consistent. Don't chase. Don't explain yourself. Just continue being the new version of you. Many men panic when they see her pull back. They think, it's getting awkward, I need to go back to being safe. That retreat is exactly what kills the attraction. The men who succeed are the ones who stay grounded even when the dynamic becomes uncertain. You must also learn how to read her signals with precision. When she starts playing along with your teasing, mirroring your future projections, or finding excuses to touch you more, these are green lights. When she becomes shorter in her texts, avoids one-on-one time, or consistently brings up other guys, those are clear red lights. Respect them. The biggest fear I see in men is the fear of being creepy. Let me free you from that fear right now. Flirting becomes creepy when it's one-sided and you refuse to read the room. If you're paying attention to her responses and adjusting accordingly, you're not creepy. You are a man expressing interest with courage. There's a massive difference. I want you to really feel this next truth. The pain you're trying to avoid, the potential awkwardness, the possible loss of the friendship, is nothing compared to the lifelong regret of never trying. I've spoken to men in their 40s and 50s who still think about that one female friend from their 20s. The one who got away because they were too scared to change the dynamic. That regret weighs heavier than any temporary awkwardness ever could. This journey forces you to develop something rare in today's world: emotional courage. The courage to risk rejection from someone whose opinion matters to you. The courage to be seen differently. The courage to want more instead of settling for just friends when your heart wants something deeper. As you practice these techniques, you will have moments of self-doubt. That's normal. Every man who has successfully moved out of the friend zone has felt that exact doubt. The difference is they didn't let it control them. Remember, the goal is not to manipulate her feelings. The goal is to show her a new side of you, the romantic, confident, playful version, and see if she feels something natural in response. If she doesn't, you will have grown tremendously in the process. You will have become a stronger man. And that growth never goes to waste. The techniques I've given you in this section are powerful, but they must be used with emotional intelligence. Flirt in moments that feel right. Don't force it every single time you see her. Create peaks and valleys. Let her miss the old version of you sometimes. By now you should be feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness. That tension in your chest is the feeling of growth. It means you're facing something real. In the final section, I'm going to show you exactly how to escalate things further, when to know if it's working, and most importantly, how to protect your dignity and self-respect whether she chooses you or not. Because this was never just about her. It was always about who you become in the process. Now that you understand the mindset and the techniques, let's talk about the final and most important stage: how to move things forward without destroying the friendship or your dignity. The transition from flirting to asking her out must feel like a natural next step, not a sudden confession. After you've been using playful teasing and future projections for some time and you're seeing positive signals, you make your move with calm confidence. A powerful way to do it is to say something like this: "You know, I've been thinking. We keep talking about all these things we should do together. Let's stop talking about it and actually do one. Let me take you out this Friday, just us." Notice the wording. You're not nervously confessing your feelings. You're leading with calm assumption while keeping it light. This reduces awkwardness dramatically. You're giving her a clear invitation, but you're not putting heavy emotional pressure on her in that moment. Her response will tell you everything you need to know. If she gets excited, smiles, and agrees, you've successfully shifted the dynamic. From that point forward, treat her like a woman you're dating, not your old friend. Continue the playful energy, but begin adding more sincere compliments and deeper conversations. If she seems surprised, hesitant, or says she needs to think about it, that's not necessarily a no. It means she needs time to process the new version of you. Give her space. Don't chase. A simple, take your time, no pressure, while holding strong eye contact is often more powerful than any words. But if she clearly says she only sees you as a friend or starts avoiding you, then you must have the strength to accept it with grace. This is where your inner work matters most. The men who spiral, get bitter, or try to guilt her are the ones who truly destroy the friendship. The mature man says, "I respect that. Your friendship has meant a lot to me. I just wanted to be honest about how I was feeling." Then he creates healthy distance and focuses on his own growth. This is the part most men don't want to hear. Sometimes she won't feel the same way. And that rejection can hurt deeply, especially when it's someone you've cared about for a long time. But here's the hidden truth. Even if she says no, you will become a stronger, more attractive man in the process. You will lose the quiet desperation that was holding you back in all areas of life. That growth is worth the risk. I've watched men in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and even 50s go through this exact experience. The ones who handle it with maturity almost always end up either winning her over later or attracting someone even better. The ones who fall apart lose both the friendship and their self-respect. This entire process is ultimately about self-improvement. It's about learning how to express your desires as a man without shame, but also without entitlement. It's about understanding female psychology enough to read signals accurately instead of projecting your hopes onto her behavior. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle both love and rejection with dignity. The painful irony is this: many people stay in the friend zone not because the woman isn't open to more, but because the man is too afraid to change how she sees him. They would rather stay in painful comfort than risk the unknown. You now have the knowledge. The question is whether you have the courage to use it. Some of you watching will use this information to finally express your feelings for that one special woman in your life. Others will use it to improve all their relationships, romantic or not. Both paths lead to growth. Before we finish, I want to ask you a personal question. Who is the one female friend you've been hiding your true feelings from, and what has stopped you from changing the dynamic until now? Be honest in the comments below. Write your answer. Speaking your truth publicly is the first step toward taking real action in private. If this video gave you clarity, courage, or even just made you feel understood, then do these 3 things. Like this video so more people can find this message. Subscribe and turn on notifications because we're going much deeper into relationship psychology, attraction, and self-improvement in the coming videos. And share this video with one friend who you know is stuck in the friend zone or struggling with unspoken feelings. Send it to them and tell them, this one actually makes sense. You deserve to stop living with regret. You deserve to learn how to communicate your interest without creating awkwardness. And most importantly, you deserve to become the strongest, most authentic version of yourself. The truth is no longer hidden from you. Now it's time to decide what kind of man you're going to be. I'll see you in the next one.